up, everybody, and thanks for tuning in to another episode of Between the Cons. My name is Chris, and with me today, the Ginger Giant. Oh my gosh. That hurts so bad. Also, you stretched right before, and like your shoulders popped.
Yep.
Is that what that was?
And my back.
That was very uncomfortable.
My upper back.
That's what happens when the Ginger Giant prepares to strike.
I worked out for the first time in like 3 months yesterday with my wife.
I was hoping you were going to say like last week. And I'm still paying for it.
I'm still out of breath for some reason.
I don't get it. I thought if you worked out, you like were in better shape.
Yep.
Like even if it was just once.
False.
Oh.
The lies they tell you. Working out does not get you in better shape.
That was at McDonald's. Must have been.
I did the wrong kind of workout, probably.
I don't know.
Eating at McDonald's does make my back hurt, though. So
it makes my whole body hurt. Unless it's just the fries. But if it's just the fries, then I'm eating like an entire bag full.
Somehow it's just glorious.
Yeah, and I still poop water. Anyways, thanks everybody for tuning in. That's all I'm going to talk about my bowel movements today.
I, however, cannot make any promises.
Yeah, but
about talking about your bowel movements.
What? Wait. What?
What?
But anyways, we're on the internet. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Between the Cons. Swing by the podcast app, the friendly podcast app on your phone, or the iTunes store on your computer device, and review the show. Give us some stars.
Give us those 5 stars.
Give us 5 stars if you feel so led. If the spirit leads. Did you just do a cross?
I just genuflected over the microphone.
Is that what that's called?
Yeah.
Genuflected?
Mm-hmm.
Is that real?
I think so.
I don't believe you.
I'm going to Google it while you talk.
Google it while I talk. But anyways, leave a review on the iTunes store. It really helps us out. Check us out at betweenthecons.com. Today, we are going to be talking about some nerdy news. We're going to be hitting some headlines. It's going to be a good time. There's some really interesting things out there these days. Are you right?
I was not right.
What is...
To genuflect is to lower one's body briefly by bending one knee to the ground, typically in worship or as a sign of respect, accompanied by being crossed over.
So it's like taking a knee in football, but also getting across?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, you weren't even close.
No?
No. Well, yeah, you were half. But I feel like
It's
that's
like
the smallest.
it's like mentioning a fruit along with other fruits.
Yeah.
But you didn't... Yeah.
That's like grilling a steak without having a steak. Like you just like fired up your grill.
Yep.
That's how close you were.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, we're going to talk about some news, so stick around.
We're going to have a pineapple situation. What should I do? Pineapple. The word that cannot be spoken. Pineapple.
Just want to say pineapple. If
Pineapples are fun. My dad used to throw them at me.
Pineapple.
Seriously? Wow.
In my first topic of today... Today, I'm going to talk about a movie that I saw like 4 weeks ago. I haven't been on the podcast in a while. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, we've only talked about it like 50 times.
It's totally fine. But guys, Shape of Water was phenomenal.
It was really good.
It was phenomenal. I asked you today what episode I should listen to so I would not sound so out of date, and you told me, and then I didn't listen to it. So
and you said, I don't care.
That's not really what I said. I just kind of let it fade to the background. And then didn't act on that at all. I have said this to you before.
Yeah.
But the movie is made in the last 14 seconds.
Oh, absolutely.
And it is a great
But it's
story.
It's not a bad movie.
No, not
leading
at all.
up to the last 14
Not
seconds.
at all.
It's just like the cherry on top of the already perfect bite.
Exactly. And so I walked into the film honestly thinking it was going to be sort of like horror-centric. I mean,
yeah.
Guillermo del Toro does these weird things with movies all the time, and you think they're one thing and then
like
there's something
Pan's
else.
Labyrinth is not necessarily a horror movie.
No.
But it is horrifying.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I thought there would be more of that to this.
Sure.
And there were moments, I think when I don't remember his name, but the guy comes out after his finger's been bitten off.
Yep.
Like that, you didn't see that coming. Sorry, spoilers. That's not really a big spoiler. It's in the first 25 minutes of the movie.
It gets pretty gross. It's not a big
And there
deal.
are moments that true to Guillermo del Toro's form, are like, whoa, I did not see that coming, and it was sort of surprising.
Sure.
Scary might be a little hard of a word, but
Yeah.
overall, it is a love story, and it is a different kind of love, I think, than we see typically. Like, we see
It's a little disturbing as well.
Yeah, and like face value, a human being with a non-humanoid is weird, right?
Yeah,
or
like
whatever. But the
amphibian man.
There is so much emotion in the deaf main character's presence.
Yeah.
I think, and not just what she signs or the words. Her body language shows this need for people and this need for connection.
Yep.
And she finds that connection with this water creature.
Yeah.
And at the end, a poem is read, and it's about the shape of you, and you get your
And it's
mind.
not Ed Sheeran.
No, it's not Ed Sheeran at all. And I just the hair stood up on my arms when it was being read.
Yeah.
In this final scene about.
And then the big
shape,
thing that happens in the final scene.
Right, yeah. And the shape of you doesn't match what we typically think, like my shape is matched in Amy. Like that, it is completely different than my definition of it, but I'm like totally bought in.
Yeah.
At the end. And I get like goosebumps just talking about it because it was such a special story.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And I just wanted to hit on it because I hadn't been on the show for a while. Thought it was great. I know you thought it was great as well. It's up for like 13 Oscar nominations.
Which we'll talk about.
Which we'll talk about on the next show. But anyway, if you haven't seen it yet, go see it. Phenomenal movie. Pineapple.
John Cena.
John Cena! And his name is John Cena!
So you did that, but I actually have the music.
You're
that
going
I
to do
play.
it? Okay, cool.
Because for whatever reason, John Cena is a big enough topic on this show that I have his like walkout music.
Yeah.
In my iTunes library for this reason.
Of course you do.
But anyways, John Cena might be joining the video game movie world. He is currently in talks to play Duke Nukem in a Paramount film. It's really interesting because Duke Nukem is pretty sketchy of a dude.
Yeah.
John Cena takes a lot of pride in being like a role model. I mean, with the exception of his early like rap star career in the WWF. But he takes a lot of pride now in being like a good role model. And Duke Nukem is like 100% the opposite.
A departure from that.
Yeah. Yeah. Like in the game, it was the first video game with nudity. Like it said the F word a bunch.
Yeah.
Like it is, Duke Nukem is what like Grand Theft Auto took a lot of cues from. Like, it's super violent, super vulgar. So it would be very much a departure from John Cena. John Cena's like morals, I guess.
Sure.
But also his previous career in acting. That being said, I'm really interested to see a Duke Nukem movie because, like I said, it is incredibly vulgar and incredibly filthy, and I don't see that working out well. I don't see it being a good movie. I don't see it performing well because it's going to be a hard R rating for it to stay anywhere close
to the actual source material.
Anywhere close to the source material. It would have to be very hard R. It is like what earned the mature rating in video games,
Right.
I feel like.
Right.
So
I didn't play the game at all, and don't know a whole lot. But all I'm thinking about right now is Rampage, the movie that's coming out really, really soon.
yeah, that is a different movie.
It's a different movie, obviously.
But
these like video game movies are coming out with these wrestler types,
Right.
And you sort of need the wrestler type to fit into these video games.
oh yeah, like Duke Nukem could not be played by like someone with a normal build.
Even like Chris Hemsworth, like he's a
big guy,
big dude, but
he's not
like steroids big dude. And you play these video games at the bowling alley or the or wherever you played them, and these dudes are enormous, right?
I will say this: I would love to see Duke Nukem played by Bruce Willis, because Duke Nukem is like John McClane's filthy older brother.
He like John McClane sort of like watched him as the older brother and was like, I don't really want to be that, but I like the like underlying
like I like where you're headed,
right.
But your head is in the wrong place.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, that's pretty much. But at the same time, I feel like I would lose a lot of respect for Bruce Willis to play that role.
Right.
So I want someone to play this that I don't really care about, like Dolph Lundgren, like someone like that. Dolph Lundgren actually looks a lot like Duke Nukem. Actually, like now that I say it, like the blonde, gross flat top.
They chose. Speaking of Dolph, I'm just going all over the place. Sorry,
you're just taking me away from pineapple.
But they chose. Oh gosh, what was his character's name in Rambo? Not in Rambo, in Rocky.
You're gonna put me on the spot about a movie I've seen once.
Sorry, yeah, they chose his son. So in the next Rocky movie,
see now I have to Google it.
Yeah,
because you took us down that road. Who's his son?
Some no-name guy, but
does he look just like him?
He's absolutely massive, and he's got sort of the same face, like Eastern Ukrainian.
Absolutely massive. Oh, not Wikipedia. Come on. Keep going. He's Ukrainian.
Well, he's got that like Eastern European, like Ukrainian sort of like white, like jaw cut out of stone, sort of. But he
looks like Dolph Lundgren, but he's twice the size.
Yeah, and Dolph is definitely like massive, but this dude looks like he's on steroids.
Drago.
Yeah.
Man,
how do you not remember Drago?
Doesn't he have a silly name? The Soviet something? I don't know.
Yeah.
That one's not nearly as important.
No.
Well, we'll talk about that next time.
Anyway,
about his son. Now that you've taken us down that road, but Dolph Lundgren would make a good Duke Nukem, but he's 1,000 years old.
He is
pineapple.
Changing directions.
100%.
100%. I finished a great book.
What do we? Why are you on the show and I am surprised by that coming out of your mouth in pineapple?
I finished a really great book and I mentioned it in November.
This is not like news.
No, it's not.
This is Kyle's life news.
It's Kyle's life news. The third book in the Stormlight Archive by Brandon Sanderson came out in November, and
Which
we
mentioned
talked
it.
About. Yep, we mentioned it on the show, and I finished it. And I just wanted to mention it because I think everyone who enjoys fantasy literature should be reading Brandon Sanderson, and you're gonna go to sleep on me here.
What?
But I think it's hard for an author to like get better progressively in a series.
Write a 33,000 page book.
The first one is only 1,000 pages. The second one is only 1,200 pages, and the third one
Isn't
is
this
only
one like
12. It's 1240.
Oh, I was like, I thought it was like 1,700 pages.
No, well, all together, it's only like 3,500 pages.
You want to know a great way to make me not read your book?
Tell you that
take the page count into 4 digits.
Yeah,
like that is the best way to turn me off.
You are turned off. I get that. Let me try to turn you on. And I didn't have anything punchy after that.
You just wanted to say it.
I just felt like the opportunity was there. I got my wife to read all these books, and she read all 3 of them in 2.5 weeks. So I'm really impressed with Amy for reading all 3 of them. But they're that good. I mean, they move really, really fast.
How do you even read that many pages in 2.5 weeks?
She has 3 jobs, but none of them are full-time. Also, she's a really fast reader.
I have terrible comprehension problems, which is why when I see a book in the 4 digits, I'm just like, yeah, that I like the cover, I like the concept. Make a movie. Make a movie and I'll read it.
She asked me yesterday when I think they're going to come out with the TV series for it, and I'm like, It doesn't have the sex appeal of Game of Thrones. Like Game of Thrones has things that
Literal sex
like,
appeal.
That
Yeah.
like the first 4 seasons were basically porn.
Boobs.
Yeah, and this does not have any of that in it, but it's still a really good story, and it should be a TV show, and I would watch it.
Is
And I
that
bet
other
you
one,
would watch it too.
Hyperion? Hyperion is basically porn.
Yeah, the Cole Batson,
Yeah.
whatever his name is on this show, likes
Mr.
that.
Naughty List.
That's the one.
Yeah, he tried to get me to read that, so I got the audiobook, which was only 28 discs. And I got through like 6 of them, and I was so tired of listening to the most graphic sex scenes that I just stopped. I was like, I don't want to read this anymore.
The point of this pineapple piece is don't read Hyperion, read the Stormlight Archive. Cole. Pineapple.
The Mighty Ducks might be getting a TV series.
Come on!
And nothing makes me happier than that sentence. The Mighty Ducks, for those of you that are not 90s kids, is a trilogy of movies that came out in the 90s. Was also a awesome animated TV series about actual ducks. Yeah, we'll look that up later if you don't know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking
Oh, okay.
about. I forgot for a second, and then I remembered.
But this is about the movies, the youth hockey team.
Yes.
Led by Emilio Estevez, Stephen Brill and Jordan Kerner, who were the original screenwriter and producer. They're coming back.
Oh.
They actually brought it to Tracy Underwood at ABC and said, "Hey, we want to develop this." So it's in like crazy early development. Like no details, no information about any of the original stars. No, huh?
No, it hasn't been picked up or anything.
No, it hasn't been picked up. I mean, they haven't even like put a script together. Like, it's still very early.
What kind of script do you need? It's like kids being awesome and playing hockey.
Yeah, and togetherness and friendship
And
slap shots
and leadership and slap shots.
and corporate jobs that you leave to coach youth hockey.
What could be better than that?
Emilio Estevez.
Is he going to be on the show?
He better. He probably.
What is
won't.
Mighty Ducks?
Let's be
without
real.
Emilio Estevez?
Let's be real. What has Emilio Estevez done in the last decade? Name one.
Can we push it to 2 decades?
If we push it to 2 decades, Mighty Ducks is in that.
Mighty Ducks. There's no way Mighty Ducks is late 90s.
No, that's fair.
2 decades ago
I don't know.
was 1997.
Your face is 1997. But anyways, we
I
don't
was
know
10.
if I was 10. Thank you, Kyle. That means Kyle is 30.
That's
Very good.
bad.
But no information. We don't know if it's a sequel or if it's a reboot or if it's like just kind of like the animated series where it shares a name and literally nothing else
Right.
except for hockey.
Yeah.
So who knows what it could be? With Stephen Brill and Jordan Kerner coming on, it's probably going to be about youth hockey.
Yeah,
So
probably.
we know that much at least.
And not the Ducks.
And not the ducks.
actual ducks.
Yeah, not actual ducks.
Like, not actual animated ducks.
Humanoid ducks.
Yeah.
It sounds like a weird cartoon, but it was really awesome.
No, it
guys.
was awesome.
Trust me. I had action figures. But we probably won't be seeing anything from it for a while, at least a few months. But as soon as we do hear more about it, I can guarantee that I will be telling you everything that you don't care to know. Pineapple.
I finished another book.
Why? Why is this?
No, I bring this one up because it's a little bit more universal. I'm
gonna look up Emilio Estevez
As I
acting
talk.
As you talk.
Cool. That typing isn't gonna be annoying at all. I read Ready Player One, and
Yeah, you did.
in preparation to see the movie. I'm sure you've already seen the trailer. The trailer itself is beautiful. As you said before the show, they seem to have like the bottoms for the purse for the visual effects seems to be nowhere.
Oh, you barely made it. D3 came out in 96.
I know my dates.
Squeaked by.
I know my dates. That was 100% luck.
Okay.
I did not remember that. Ready Player One's coming out.
Yes.
I recommend reading the book. It is a super easy read,
It's super easy read.
super easy listen, and
it's written very it's young adult fiction.
totally
Like
absolutely,
it's written for a young adult, so it's
This
like,
isn't like Lord of the Rings, complicated, like denseness.
Yeah.
This is very easy. It's about subject matter you are aware of.
Right.
This is 80s and 90s pop culture
Yeah.
in a video game.
Right.
And you fit into one of those buckets. Like
you're
either
at least
know
aware of it.
80s culture, or you are aware of 90s culture, or
Right.
you are into video games. Like,
Right.
And Will Wheaton reads the book. That's actually how I listen to it on the way to work every morning. And it was great to hear him listen to it, him read it, because
Just
one,
hearing
it's
him
great,
listening
great
to
to
it.
hear his voice, and also he's just a very, very minor character in the book. So to hear him say his name, it was funny. And if you don't, for those of you who don't know, it follows the main character. The world is in a March 30th. Thank you. It follows a young, like a high school age boy, Wade Watts. Not Walt. Wade Watts, high school age kid, super into this video game. Everybody in the world basically is into this video game. It is
The Oasis.
It is the Oasis is virtual reality on crack.
Right.
It is virtual reality meets World of Warcraft. Like it is you are an avatar, and you gain magical items and physical attributes, and not only is it a game, but the kids go to school in it, and there is currency where most of buying and selling in the world happens. And the end point of the game is that the creator of the game has died and has created this
Treasure hunt.
That has taken a lot of years for people to be working through, and it awards the winner $250 billion in rights to run the Oasis,
Right.
if they win.
Be the boss man.
That's really, really short synopsis. I think I have a little bit of I loved the book.
That was very good. It's a very good book.
I loved the book. I have a little bit of trepidation about the movie,
Sure.
because as usual, there looks to be some changes. Like no
and a
movie
lot of the
can
pop culture.
follow the book like to the letter, right?
Hollywood is a different animal.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And yes, it does appear that they have brought in more
Recent.
recent pop culture references,
Which I think is smart.
sure.
Because
It's got to apply to
Yeah.
to teenagers today who
Right.
may not be as aware of
Tron.
bands in the
Right.
80s.
Yeah.
Rush.
Right.
Teenagers today, I can guarantee you, have never listened to a Rush album.
Which is a
Unfortunate.
travesty.
Unfortunate. It would be great if there was Rush music all throughout this movie, because it would be
Perfect.
epically incredible. But so it appears that a lot of the game, this is from the trailer, mind you, so we haven't seen it, but like it appears that a lot of the movement of the story happens around a race.
Right. Well, yeah,
And we don't really know that, but it's the
it's
most action that we've seen so far, other than
and
is
it's
like a large
it's a
battle.
good chunk of the trailer, but I think it might just be like
misdirection.
sizzle.
Yeah.
Well, it's just like this stuff looks good.
Yeah.
And maybe it's like this is the project that we spent the most time on up front.
Right.
And this is what we have ready for trailer time.
Right. So anyway, I wanted to bring it up because I think you should read the book before you go see it, because there is going to be an incredible amount of callbacks
Oh, for sure.
to everything.
To
And-
everything forever.
And it's going to be important, I think, for you to not have to like be trying to remember where that one thing is that they just mentioned. Like you need to come in a little bit to this movie with
Oh,
some
for sure.
institutional knowledge about blank. And it just covers the gambit of stuff.
Right, yeah.
It would be too long of a pineapple piece to talk about all the things they mentioned in the book. I think it will greatly enhance your experience of seeing the movie if you read the book. You've got 2 months before it comes out, the movie comes out. And even it's going to be an incredible movie either way, just from the amount of special effects, the actors and actresses that are in it. I'm stoked to see it. Anyway, pineapple.
Kevin Feige from Marvel has said that there is a specific Magneto scene that he wants to bring to the big screen. Oh, which is cool. There's a scene from one of the X-Men comics. It's a panel, not a scene, where Magneto like uses his power to like dismantle a gun, and it's all just like floating there with all of its different component parts. And that's it. I mean, it's just a really interesting concept that like Kevin of all people said like, hey, there's this very specific Magneto panel that I want to use. Apparently it had come up a while back in conversations for the X-Men movies. And it was like, at the time when the conversation came up, the visual effects were not advanced enough to be confident that a scene like that would look good, which is fair. So they scrapped it. But he wants to bring that to the big screen now that Disney owns Fox and Fox owns X-Men and Marvel and X-Men can cohabitate. But I thought it was more interesting that he's going on record talking about a scene that he wants to do for Magneto because he is the head of Marvel Studios, not Fox Studios. And that means that Marvel Studios is basically under Disney's regime. Instead of moving everything over from the Fox name and like publishing it under the Fox name and everything, they're actually moving everything over to Marvel Studios, which I think is great. But it also says, hey, they want to do X-Men stuff. So I think that's really cool. I think that's really interesting. I feel like I say this a lot, but I don't really know what to feel about it. Especially because we've talked so much about like the pros and cons of X-Men with the Marvel universe, Marvel Cinematic Universe, how much is going to be undone that has already been done within the X-Men? Are they going to start over? Are they going to bring like, is Michael Fassbender going to still be Magneto?
Right.
Stuff like that. But I think it's really interesting. No one, I mean, they're still being very hush hush about future plans for the X-Men universe at Marvel Studios. But I think it's something that we definitely, as fans, need to keep our eyes out for, because no matter what the news is, when it breaks, it's going to be big news.
Big news.
Big news. Pineapple.
In a more newsy news section of the pineapple.
Oh, not
today.
Kyle news?
Not my life news. Netflix apparently has lost an unexpected $39 million after firing Kevin Spacey.
Ouch.
This is due, quote unquote, from for unreleased content we've decided not to move forward with. Again, it is an unexpected expense. And from this article that I read, it isn't saying what that's from. I would guess it's maybe people deciding to leave, or it's revenue they projected in the future that they won't get due to advertising rights. They, show it all over.
They're shortening the season too, right?
They are, yeah.
Because it's just 8 episodes with Robin Wright.
Yep.
And I think it was supposed to be a full season with Kevin Spacey.
Right. They were supposed to already have begun shooting this next season, season 6, with an expected release date of sometime this summer. But because of this necessary, I think we can say, necessary firing of Kevin Spacey, we do not have another release date.
Suspended in October and will resume production this year.
Yep. I remember House of Cards being, if not the first, maybe the most important piece of content Netflix put out.
It was
back
definitely
in 2013.
It was definitely the most popular.
It was, yeah,
Like the biggest deal of original content.
right. And I mean, I don't have numbers in front of me to compare, but may have one of the largest fan bases of Netflix original content to date, other than maybe Marvel, because that's coming in
Right.
into the atmosphere of Netflix from people from coexisting Marvel fans.
Sure.
This is an original title that they came up with.
Oh yeah.
That didn't
for sure.
exist anywhere. I mean, it was British, so maybe some did know about it.
It actually was the first. Oh, that's the first drama.
The first drama.
It might be the first. I'm scrolling through the list.
Because this is its 6th season, it's one of the longest standing Netflix original shows. This is huge news for Netflix, who's spending $8 billion on new
Original
content
yeah.
on new content alone in 2018. I was reading in the Wall Street Journal, because I'm an adult, the other day, and their revenue is massive, right? But their profit is comparatively small when you look at versus HBO original content. HBO is a master at making money on their original content. They've got a big budget. I think it's like $6 billion this year.
And they cannot lie.
Right.
They got a big budget.
Big budget, and I cannot lie.
Lilyhammer was the first, but it was a co-production.
And I can say I turned that on and was not intrigued. I watched like 5 episodes, maybe. It was a mob boss in like Scandinavia or something.
Norway.
He and I don't know.
Yeah, but it was a co-production with
Totally.
Norwegian some Norwegian television company.
Um,
Sorry, Norwegian people. I don't
Sorry.
know your television company names.
no, I don't either. Anyway, that's a pretty big piece of news, that losing $39 million
On the longest running show.
on the longest running show on Netflix.
Yeah. Wah, wah.
Pineapple.
Forrest Whitaker kind of just dropped a spoiler about Black Panther, which is super neat. They're going to space. What? That's the spoiler.
What?
He kind of dropped like a teeny tiny giant spoiler about Black Panther going to space. So he says, we're going to see not only travel things, but things that take us to outer space and things that take us into the James Bond space. It's a really unique amalgamation. That's a lot of A's. Yep. Amalgamation of different things that come together in an exciting way. But I thought it was really interesting too, because he mentioned the James Bond thing,
right?
The James Bond space, which way early into production for Black Panther, Ryan Coogler said that when he was first offered the directorial job, that Marvel said they wanted Black Panther to kind of be their James Bond, like, style of movie, which he...
What does that mean? Does that mean like he's cool? Like, all of the superheroes are cool, but like...
I think it's like the spy concept. Because
spy
like, even when you
concept?
think about
Okay.
it, like, it is about a guy from a different country who, like, the plot line is going to revolve around stealing a precious metal.
Yes. Yep.
So,
Yeah.
there you go. Like, very generally speaking. But that being said, they haven't really gone into detail about what James Bond Black Panther means. But Ryan Coogler said, I thought it was really exciting. It was an out of the box way to look at T'Challa. There are some Bond films that I really, really like. They give me the opportunity to go watch some other ones. But I think Forrest Whitaker just dropping like, yeah, we're gonna go to outer space.
That's kind of a big deal, because
That's
we
kind of a
haven't
huge
seen
deal.
anything like that in the trailers.
No, kind of a big, huge deal. And then the James Bond thing, I think, is super cool. I'm really interested to see what that turns out to be.
Yeah, me too.
Especially because T'Challa has that. I mean, that's in his demeanor. Like, he's that, like, calm, collected, like, king, prime minister kind of feel outside of Wakanda. And then he comes back to Wakanda and, like, there's all this technology that doesn't exist anywhere else. And, like, it's a, like, huge I don't want to say secret society, but like not the way that you think secret society, but it is a secret,
Right.
and it is a society.
Yep.
So I think it's really interesting to think about it that way. But that one, February 16th for Black Panther, coming out Valentine's Day weekend. It's gonna be a big weekend. It's gonna be a good one. We're gonna review this. We're gonna review the movie. I almost said the show. It's not a show.
It's gonna be so good.
We are going to review that. So hold on to your britches. It's gonna be a wild ride.
We are officially within 100 days.
Of what?
A little monster in my throat. We are officially within 100 days of the Infinity War release date.
Yes, we are.
May 4th.
Be with you.
May the 4th be with you.
So with you.
It's
Man,
gonna
I hope they make that joke in the movie.
be,
Which would be really difficult because you'd have to see it on opening day for it to make any sense.
right, yeah, it wouldn't but anyway.
But it'd be funny.
It would be funny. And I just thought it was worth bringing up. Nothing huge there, but there is time for you to watch every single...
Nothing huge except for, like, the end of the Marvel Cinematic Universe as we know it.
Major deaths. Deaths are impending. Like, we know people... There
Yep.
will not be all of the Marvel Avengers
Yep.
alive.
Cap is going to nomad the crap out of that thing.
It already looks like he's been nomading a little bit with that scruff.
Oh, yeah.
Hulkbuster is back, but we don't know who's inside it. Like, there's a lot to be intrigued about for this movie.
Maybe it's Riri Williams,
Riri?
the 13-year-old super genius Iron Man lady. Girl. I seriously doubt it, but that would be awesome.
That'd be sweet. Yeah. No, I don't have anything super impressive to talk about, but we're within 100 days, and I thought it was like...
Let the countdown begin.
This has been building for 10 years.
Yeah. Yep.
Right? Like 2008, Iron Man.
That's crazy to think.
to that we've been building to this point.
Yeah.
Whether they knew exactly like
Where they were going.
May
up
2018
front.
is when we're doing a Thanos movie. Like, that's what's been, like, progressively built this universe. And, yeah, it's going to split and become something different.
Right. But it's going to be awesome sauce.
It's going to be amazingness, miss. Yeah.
Yep.
And I'm really excited about it. And you guys should be, too. Pineapple.
Things you probably shouldn't be excited about, or maybe you should be super excited about it. Detective Pikachu is a movie that's going to happen, whether you like it or not. And that's where this is going. So Ken Watanabe from The Last Samurai, he's been in a lot of other things other than The Last Samurai. He was in Inception. He was in the Transformers movies. He's been in a lot of things. Gojira, he was in the remake of that. He is joining the cast of Detective Pikachu as a new character for the movie called Detective Yoshida. Joining the cast of Catherine Newton, who was Claire from Supernatural. She's going to be Lucy. Justice Smith, who played Books in The Get Down. And he's going to be Tim Goodman, who's like the main character.
Okay.
And then Ryan Reynolds, who's going to be voicing Pikachu in this movie. Now, for those of you who are thinking like, oh, Detective Pikachu, there's no way he's talking about like Pokemon Pikachu. It must just be like a common Japanese name or something. No, it's Pikachu. It's Pikachu the Pika. It's that guy. Yeah. So
and Ryan Reynolds is going Pika Pika.
He's going to be voicing Pikachu. Well, here's the thing. So here's the plot synopsis for the game. This thing is ridiculous. So the plot synopsis for the game is Pikachu talks. So there's that. But despite not being as powerful or as agile or anything of the other Pikachus, he's super intelligent and claims to be a great detective. One day he encounters a boy named Tim Goodman, who, Justice Smith, as you recall, who is able to understand what he's saying. Thus, the two begin to work together to solve various mysteries revolving around the Pokemon in the city. So that's the plot synopsis for the game. We don't have an official plot synopsis for the movie yet, but we're talking about like Sherlock Pikachu, Ryan Reynolds edition movie. But it's going to be a live action movie with an animated Pikachu. So it's going to be good and ridiculous.
Why?
So this was actually like, it was actually like a really like high selling title for the Nintendo DS.
Okay.
That being said, it in no way justifies it becoming a movie because it's Pikachu. But I am really interested. I am 1,000 times interested in hearing what Ryan Reynolds Pikachu has to say. But it's actually going to start shooting in London later this month. No word on a official release date yet, but it is actually happening. It is happening in London later this month.
I'm speechless. I just don't have a whole lot to say other than in keeping with the detective / Ryan Reynolds news, he is reviving the Clue movie.
Oh, fantastic.
With the Deadpool directors.
Oh my gosh. I am going to pay so much money to see that. So here's the thing. If they do
so
that,
much more expected.
we're just going to pineapple, and now we're going to talk about Clue.
Cool.
So if we have a Clue movie, like the Tim Meadows, Tim Curry, the ladies man.
Yes.
Tim Curry-esque
Yes.
Clue movie. It must have alternate endings. Because that's like my favorite part.
Absolutely.
That's my favorite part of the Clue movies, like the original Clue movies, is that I think it had 3 or 4 different endings, like different possible endings.
Yes. Yep.
And I love that. And if that's something that is getting revived, I think it definitely needs to have like alternative endings as well.
This is a part of a 3-year first look deal he has with Fox.
Wow. That's exciting.
The Deadpool, writing team from Deadpool.
Better.
Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick to
Right.
pen the script.
That'll be a good time.
1985 with Jonathan Lynn directing and Elon Brennan, Tim Curry, Madeline Kahn, Christopher Lloyd, Michael McKean. If you haven't seen that movie, you need to go.
I think it's
and
on
watch
Netflix.
that movie.
I think it's on Netflix, and I think the alternate endings are on Netflix as well.
Oh my gosh!
But
There's
that'll be a
no. I
fun
mean,
time.
it just came out yesterday.
That's a fun
announced,
time.
so not a whole lot else there, but it's gonna be a blast.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. So
He needs to be like Professor Plum.
or Colonel Mustard.
Colonel Mustard.
I don't know. I think Colonel Mustard's a little too like skittish.
Yeah. For Ryan Reynolds. Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch that. Pineapple. And that was the
11th
pineapple point.
Yeah.
Outside of the Twins episode, I don't know if we've ever gone to 11. Because we always go to 12 because there's 2 of them. makes it evener.
Math.
Yeah. But anyways, thanks for tuning into the show. Check us out on the internet, betweenthecons.com. Subscribe to the show. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Review us on the iTunes Store, podcast app, whatever you want to call it. And tune back in on Monday. We're going to be talking about Oscars, nominations, what we're expecting, who we want to win certain things, etc.
It's going to be great.
Okay, bye now.
Bye-bye. Yeah, that is a long leg.